Hey, this is Lorena, and I wanted to do a video on how to make a wedding veil. I wanted to share with you how I embroidered it and how I kind of put it together, how I measured the sizing and the shape of it. So I really do thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the veil making. Alright, some of the supplies you're going to need is, of course, some tulle. I went and bought some at Joann's. I got a lot of yardage. I ended up getting 120 by whatever yardage I bought. It was wider than I needed it, but I also didn't know what size of veil I was going to make. I also needed a water-soluble stabilizer, and I bought some beads. The way I measured the length is I went ahead and I used one of my children to figure out how long I wanted it to be. I literally had them holding it on the top of their head in the placement or the area that they wanted it, and I just kind of measured and how it looked in the back, and then I trimmed off and cut it down. Now I wanted also to share this, that I gave myself about 5 extra inches of tulle just in case I needed to change the shape, cut it down a little bit. I had that flexibility without going into the length that I wanted. So what I did is I got the tulle and I folded it in half, and I allowed the back to be slightly longer. Does that make sense? And then I rounded down. And if it's not perfect, meaning if you don't have the cut perfect, the neat thing is you could go back and recut and get the shape that you want. And that's why I gave myself the extra 5 inches. So if you see, it's rounded, it's straight, it's rounded, and then it's curved down, if that makes sense. I also researched a lot on finding the perfect embroidery design. I went ahead and I embroidered several designs to see if I liked them, if they took a lot of time. So I recommend that you find a design that's kind of flowy, kind of has some filigree that moves across the veil, that shapes the veil really pretty. That's why I picked this one. It had some depth and thickness here and some fullness here, but then it kind of went filigree at the end, or leafy, and so it was easy to connect from this end to this end. I don't recommend a very heavy embroidery design. I felt it was too chunky and it took too long to make. So what I did is I folded the tulle in half and I found center. When I found center, I went ahead and I cut several strips of extra tulle so that I could weight the tulle down so it can handle the embroidery. And then I made my first design from the center. So the process of me embroidering this, I went from the center, then went to the right side and got the right side embroidered, and then transferred the embroidery to the left side. I did that continuously, and the reason I did that is it helped me not get lost in this process, because if I would have just done one side, I would have forgotten what I did on the opposite side. And this way, when I changed the shape or the angle on the embroidery machine, it was easier for me to go back to the opposite end and continue in that shape. That really helped control any confusion or like, what did I do on this side? And it was continuous that way. So when I hooped it, I went ahead, and this is where the line of the hoop was, and this edge, I made sure that it was kind of seen on the hoop, and then I hooped the other section to where this and this would be almost in line together. And so this was in the line of the hoop frame. Hooping it was very important, making sure that I was able to see this point, and usually I had it where I had the green line on top of it, and making sure that this was kind of lined up straight to this design. Now when I did the curvature, I angled the design 10 degrees on the machine, and I just hooped straight. In a sense, I hooped straight. I had a little bit extra tulle here. I hooped straight, but then the design itself angled, so I was able to get that beautiful shape. And I also did that in this side. Now I did 3 straight, the center, right, left, then I angled it 10 degrees here, and then I went and I angled it 10 degrees on the opposite here, so I can get that beautiful curvature. And then after I did that, I found that after I have the curvature here, you can see it. It's not a huge curve because it's only 10 degrees here and here. Then I started working the straightaway. Things to think about when you're embroidering: make sure your design is even from side to side, even in the curving area, even to the point where you get to your ending point. That's huge. And then when you're going to put the clip on, you want it to hang even. And now after I did that, you have a lot of water stabilizer, and a lot of times I trimmed the extra tulle off, and I also trimmed off the extra water soluble so that I could hoop the next piece or hoop the other side. Now what I ended up doing is I had to wash the water soluble off. It was very sticky. If you don't wash it off completely, it makes the embroidery very heavy and thick, and it even hardens it. I really do hope you like this video on how I got the shape and embroidered all the way around this tulle to make it into a veil. Now I am going to do a smaller video on how to connect the veil to the hair clip, which is so easy. I thought it was more complicated, but it's so easy. It's so easy that I made a couple of them for the flower girls. Yeah, isn't it beautiful? Look how pretty. Awesome. So I'll see you on the next one. All right, thank you for watching. Bye.